So we're using raw umber and white for now. I'm just mixing a medium kind of tone color. We start like this. We start with medium tone and then we darken and highlight. So I have a filbert, like not too big, number 4 or flat, whatever you have, whatever is easy. We're going to change from flat to round.
On the screen, yours looks almost white, Lael.
Okay, thanks. I'll try to adjust.
Well, that's okay, as long as we know that ours has to be darker.
Kind of, yeah. Doesn't have to be every time we mix the color. It's not gonna, and we're not gonna end up with the right shade. So it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because we have to go in and like we have to highlight and darken anyway. So this is just a medium tone kind of. Like now my mixture is a little bit lighter, but it's not a problem. What's important is to figure out where the light is coming from. So light it will be coming from the right, hitting this way. So because the light is hitting from right to left, like from this side, I'm going to darken a bit around the bird using just raw umber. Raw umber, I'm using just raw umber because I have already medium tone mixture. Okay. I take a bit of more white, mix it into my mixture of burnt raw umber and white, and highlight this area a bit more right here.
How much darker did you want around the bird?
No, it doesn't matter. Whatever.
And that's only the one side.
Hmm? Yeah, yes, yes. Just the shadow of the bird on the. Okay. It's a bit shiny, but it will. It'll change when it's dry. It's a good color.
Did you lighten the top there, Leal? I missed something.
No, I'm putting some more light in here on this right-hand side.
Okay.
It's just acrylic dries darker. So I have to adjust the value all the time. Wait for it to dry.
Line you're touching now?
Pardon?
What's that small line you're touching? Behind the bird.
This, what is this line?
The line from right behind the bird.
Here.
That's the shadow.
No. Oh, the one you are doing now.
So you're asking what's the line? What is it?
You left a piece behind his neck.
I did?
Is that stone or part of
Stone.
the
Stone. Stone.
no further in above his wing?
Here.
That's it. That area. What is that area?
That's part of him. His wing.
All part of his wing. Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
All of that is being highlighted, Leal, too?
Just this part
Or
right
just
here.
that?
Yes, yes. I don't know why. Let me see if I remove this. This is easier, maybe better. Yeah. So this part right here. You know what? Here, let me turn this off. Okay. So this part here is highlighted, and then the rest is kind of darker over here, and just this part. So this is stone. It's supposed to be stone. So it's not supposed to be too it's not supposed to be perfect. We're not going to do the background. We'll just work on this, and then after, when we're done, we'll just kind of paint the background. Actually, maybe it's better to be in the background. But I just want to concentrate on this before we work on the
Makes-
background.
Makes sense.
Okay, so now we're gonna go start from the inside. Kind of a medium tone, because we can always go back and adjust the value, make it lighter, make it darker. Right now, this is a good color, good value here. Okay. I'll wait for it to dry, and then I will assess if I need to go darker or lighter. Depending on how far in the carving is. And this makes a big difference in shaping. Light and dark makes a big difference. Right, so what I'm seeing, but before I do anything, before I darken the lower part, see, I'm seeing that this part is darker, all of this part, right there. So, but before I do this, I'm gonna put the color of the stone outside, because I can gauge how dark I should be going here, okay? So I'm gonna go a little bit lighter now, because this part is lighter. Okay, let's get a good brush. Work on this part.
Yes.
Take white, pardon? Okay, am I going too fast right now? Okay, all right, okay. Right now, we're not really shaping the stone. We're really just putting color, kind of. I'll just put color on this and then I'll pause the video. Now, this part of the stone, this carving now, this detail becomes darker here because this part goes in. So I'm adding more raw umber and I'm just going to go in and put that. I'll pause in a minute so you can catch up. Right now, it's going to, the whole thing is going to look like nothing. Like it's going to be like a bunch of colors or brush strokes, and that's it. But slowly, when we start adding detail, it will shape up. Lighting. Okay, so I'm just using raw umber, and I'm just going to take this detail, this raw umber, and then just kind of down here. Put a bit of more raw umber. This detail or this value that I'm working with, the darker, helps with pushing the actual detail out, this part. Not over here. I'm just putting a line over here. So here is lighter. This is a good exercise for value scaling, the values. Here. That's good. All right. Now, before I darken this part down here, I'm going to highlight first. Because if I highlight before I darken, then I can tell if I need, how dark I should be going here. So I'm going to take, okay, let's see, I'm looking at the actual reference and I see that this part is highlighted right here, all of that. All right, let's do that. So let's highlight this part a little bit more. But not the whole thing. Part of it. You know, just a higher part of the stone. Because this is not flat. It has a thickness. And if you highlight the whole thing from top to bottom, like from here to here, then you're not, you're making it flat. This part comes out. So maybe like this. And now I put a lot of white in my my raw umber here. And then I went back and I went to medium tone. Take on a bit of medium tone and go down a bit. Again, more white. I'll pause the video in a minute. I'm going to start adding more raw umber because I'm going down here. Down in this section where this highlight is, or this detail, it's hidden in a shadow area, hidden in. I'm trying to darken a bit this part right here. But at the same time, I don't want it to look as dark as this in here. So I'm adding a bit of raw umber slowly. And if I find that I'm getting closer to this part, the darkest part, and it's not showing anymore, this I can't, it's blending, then I would add a bit of black at the bottom here later on. But so far it's working. a little bit of shadow in here, maybe right there. Now I have to highlight this part right there, but slow down. Pause. All right. All right. So now I'm going to take medium tone highlight, and I'm going to highlight the inside right here. I am not, I'm not concerned about the darkest darks right now. I will add them later. So right now, I just want this part of the stone to come to be a bit higher. So I'm leaving a little bit of the dark at the bottom. I'm adding now a bit more white into the into my brown. So I'm adding my highlights slowly. I'm just adjusting my lines in here. Okay. All right, same on the second, on the other side. On this side, same. That's a bit too much. So I usually highlight slowly. I don't go to the white right away. It's easier to adjust your value if you don't go to whites right away, like to a strong white. If you go slowly, then you can control the white in there. Yeah, I don't want a line in between, sharp line. So the best thing to do is to get rid of that sharp line and use values, different values to create that line. So meaning I'm going to be highlighting a tiny bit more this part at this point. So when I said that I'm not going to darken this before I highlight around it, and that's what I mean, because I don't need to highlight, I don't need to darken it, because the highlight itself is making it look darker. This is a medium tone, kind of, right now, medium tone. So it's not as bright as what you see on the monitor. It's too bright. So usually what I do is when I'm doing this, I keep an eye on the shape of the the stone, just to make sure that shape is right. It's usually wider in certain areas and narrower in other areas. This area here, this part, catches more sun. I will be adjusting the value later on level. This is good. Because this is not flat, so part of it is highlighted more. Okay. And let it dry a bit. It's, It's a bit too, it's a bit wet. Well, I can't see the detail well, so I am going to improvise. I'm going to start highlighting, adding a little bit more white. It looks white. It's not that white. It looks too white on the monitor. It's not white. It's mixed with raw umber. Mm. I'm going to pause in a minute. I'm just going to do a bit of blending in here. And we're done today. Send me pictures of what your painting looks like. So this detail here needs to be adjusted. That's too much of a difference. And the difference in the value. So I keep adding white here and it keeps drying darker.
It disappears, doesn't it?
Yeah. I'll darken a little bit more, adding more of the raw umber on this side. Now you can see a line, dark line in between the light and dark value. I have to get rid of this line. And I have to highlight slowly to have a thin, not a thin, a soft transition. It's the same piece of stone. It's just one part of it is higher than the other part. Okay. I'll just get rid of the line first, the dark one. And then now I'm just going to add a bit of white slowly. All of this needs to be adjusted once it's dry, but it's working. It's fine right now. I just need to make sure that I adjust my values once the acrylic is dry. Once the paint keeps drying darker. Now I'm adding a tiny bit of white, more white into the brown I'm using, and just making sure that I'm highlighting the piece or the detail or section that is higher. All right, see now this part here is drawing darker. So I'm gonna kind of refine the detail a bit here. This part here comes up higher than the one behind it. So I have to go in and highlight using white and raw umber. Highlight this area to push it up. Now, it comes into this part is thin here, then it becomes a little bit wider here, and it shifts to highlight right there. Turns. So I'll explain again. The highlight is right here on this side only. Actually, in the reference, the whole thing is highlighted from here to here. It's flat, but I'm trying. I don't want it to. I don't want to make it flat from here to here. I'm going to keep it like that. It's much more elegant. And then I'm going to shift the highlight slowly to down here. So from this part being highlighted, from the left, I'm going to bring, when I get here, I'm going to bring the highlight to the right or to up higher. So usually when I'm highlighting strong highlight, I start adding a bit more of the brown into my whites, because you don't want your highlight to be all the way same value from here to here. This is lighter, but it's not as light as here. So it's just a constant adjustment between values in this kind of painting. And sometimes it's better if it's the paint is still wet, because you can blend it easily. You can have a soft blending easily. This is how it looks for now, and then next week we'll continue the rest.